They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000 from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
The false statement.
You should resign.
And, sir, you should resign. I was thinking the same thing about you.
You said, let's go fight these people, meaning the people who were investigating the fraud. Why'd you do it? Why'd you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please. We're all ears.
So,
are you the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, yes or no?
You know the answer.
Mr. Ellison, you're in my courtroom now. You're under oath. So I suggest that you answer my questions. You the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state of Minnesota, yes or no? Let's try another question. Are you familiar with the $9 billion in historic fraud out of your state, including the $250 million in the Feeding Our Future program alone? You familiar with that? Don't turn to the pages in your book to get your potted answers. Are you familiar with it? Yes or no?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Very familiar, aren't you? Because the people who ran the Feeding Our Futures program came to you in your official office in the state capitol December 11th, 2021, and asked for your help in getting investigators off their backs. They complained to you for upwards of an hour about state investigators going after them, and they begged you to help them, and you agreed to it, amazingly. And we know you did.
That's not
because
true.
It's all caught on tape.
Yeah,
every single sentence is caught on tape. Here's what you said. Let's take a look.
Obviously,
you said, it's not a question. You said to them, send me the names of all these folks who are investigating them. You said to them, send me their names. And I'll take that list, and I'll call the person over at Education who is investigating them and say, what's going on? Why am I getting these complaints? Then he went on to say, I already have my team working on this. What day should we get together to discuss it again? You made pledge after pledge to them. You said, we've got to make sure this guy who's investigating them stops it. You said, you have my attention. I'm concerned about this. You said, let's go fight these people, meaning the people who were investigating the fraud. Why'd you do it? Why'd you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please. We're all ears.
So first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help them?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Why did you help
You
them?
let me answer, and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth, and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help them?
Now see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here voluntarily.
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help them? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience can listen to the recording. It's 54 minutes long. It's all in public. You can Google it right now and listen to it.
And listen to it all.
Why'd you help them?
First of all, I didn't help them.
You did help them.
No, I did not. I certainly didn't.
You're saying you didn't do anything for them. You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you?
I have my team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them. No, you did not. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them.
Federal prosecution.
You had, BS. You had whistleblowers come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about, sir.
No, sir. You now have encountered the truth and you don't like it. Why'd you take their money? Why'd you take their money?
I didn't.
You took $10,000.
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000 9 days after the meeting.
False statement.
You took $10,000. Here's what happened. They went to your office.
They
solicited money from you. They solicited help from you.
That's also wrong.
They came to your office. It was your official office. You met with them for 54 minutes.
No,
they asked you for help. You pledged it to them, and they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked about.
That's a lie.
Money, 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 money. They said, we will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are securing your donor base and securing your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000 from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
Sir,
was it worth it?
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth.
It
This
has
is what
nothing to
accountability
do-
looks like, of which you've had none. You helped fraudsters defraud your state and this government of $9 billion, and you got a fat campaign contribution out of it. You ought to be indicted.
True. Well,
that's the truth.
I think we've made the point. Let's keep the tenor
Well,
just
for
a
the
little more
record,
calm.
Oh, I'll ask how I want
he's
to,
lying,
Senator Paul.
and that's the truth.
Oh no, this is all on the record,
no, sir.
Did you bother
You are-
Did you bother to investigate where the money that you facilitated their fraud for, where it went? Do you know where it went, what it was used for, the fraudulent money? I do, because we just heard testimony about it yesterday.
Because we
the
were
funds
key
went
players
to
in the
hundreds of millions of
investigation.
dollars to terrorist
Yes, we
groups,
do
to
know.
transnational criminal organizations, to the drug trade, to drug trafficking, to child trafficking. And you took $10,000
That's a lie.
and helped them do it. You know, the other thing is,
untrue statement.
whistleblowers came to you as early as 2019. Let's look. As early as 2019, whistleblower. Don't talk over me.
No,
as
no,
early
you're
as
talking over me.
2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as
I'm not your pal.
2019,
Don't call me pal.
whistleblowers came to. Well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
Well, we'll see what you can
In
do about it.
2019, whistleblowers came to you in your office and referred to you fraud allegations from Feeding Our Futures, and you blew them off. Listen, your own state newspaper
That's a
investigated
lie.
it. The Minnesota Star Tribune, the Partners in Nutrition, brought its concerns to the Attorney General's office in 2018 and in 2019, and you did nothing. You did nothing for years. The only action you took is, once all these fraudsters came to your office and asked you to get involved and offered you money,
Did not come to
then
my
you got
office.
involved.
They
Then
did
you
not-
took the money, and then you got involved.
They did not come to my office. You're completely wrong about that.
You met with them
I did
for
not take anybody's
54
money.
minutes, and you took $10,000, and they also gave your family money. They gave your family thousands of dollars in campaign contributions in addition to what they gave
a false
you.
statement.
Let's put the
This is,
sign
this
back
is
up.
completely untrue.
The New York Post.
Yeah, we know the New York Post.
Minnesota Keith Ellison, AG, accepted campaign donations from individuals linked to the $250 million COVID fraud scheme after they were in your office. The donations came on December 20th.
Sir,
you
this
met
is
with them
not-
on December the 11th, and on January 20th, the FBI knocked over their headquarters.
No.
That's the sequence of events here.
No, it's not.
You've
the
been
sequence
right
of
at the
events.
center of this fraud
It's not
thing
the
from the
sequence of
beginning,
events.
and
It's
you've
untrue.
enabled it. And sir,
The false
you
statement-
should resign.
And sir, you should resign. I was thinking the same thing about you.
In fact, the scrutiny only intensified after this hearing. Less than 3 weeks later, on March 4th, 2026, the House Oversight Committee held a second hearing examining Minnesota's handling of major fraud cases, expanding its investigation beyond the Feeding Our Future scandal to broader allegations involving fraud oversight under Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison. Then, on March 20th, 2026, the Department of Justice announced 5 additional guilty pleas in the Feeding Our Future case, bringing the total number of convictions to 63. Less than a month later, on April 9th, 2 more defendants pleaded guilty, increasing the total to 65 convictions. The prosecutions did not stop there. In July 2026, another defendant pleaded guilty, demonstrating that the federal investigation remained active months after this hearing, and that prosecutors continued building what they have described as one of the largest pandemic fraud cases in American history. Those developments explain why this hearing drew so much national attention. Senator Josh Hawley used his questioning to challenge Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison over his interactions with representatives of Feeding Our Future before the organization became the center of a massive federal fraud prosecution. Hawley focused on a recorded December 2021 meeting in which organization representatives complained about investigators and asked for assistance. During the hearing, Hawley argued that the recording showed Ellison expressing a willingness to contact state officials after hearing those complaints and questioned whether those actions were appropriate given what happened later. Hawley also raised campaign finance issues. He argued that campaign contributions connected to individuals involved with Feeding Our Future were received shortly after the meeting and repeatedly questioned whether those donations created the appearance of a conflict of interest. Throughout the exchange, Hawley maintained that the sequence of events raised serious concerns about accountability and public trust, pressing Ellison to explain why he met with the organization and what actions, if any, he took afterward. Attorney General Ellison forcefully rejected those accusations. He argued that Senator Hawley was selectively quoting portions of the recorded conversation while ignoring the broader context of the meeting. Ellison denied helping Feeding Our Future avoid investigation and rejected the suggestion that campaign contributions influenced his official actions. He also stated that members of his office later assisted law enforcement efforts that contributed to criminal prosecutions arising from the Feeding Our Future investigation. It is important to distinguish between the allegations presented during this hearing and established legal findings. Congressional hearings are designed to investigate government actions through public oversight, but they are not criminal trials. The accusations made by Senator Hawley reflected his interpretation of the evidence and were strongly disputed by Attorney General Ellison. The hearing itself did not determine that Ellison committed a crime or violated ethics laws. Those questions require separate legal processes and findings. What is firmly established is the scale of the Feeding Our Future fraud case. Federal prosecutors allege that defendants exploited a federally funded child nutrition program during the COVID-19 pandemic, fraudulently obtaining hundreds of millions of dollars intended to feed children. Since this hearing, the Department of Justice has continued announcing additional guilty pleas and convictions, reinforcing that the criminal investigation remained active and continued expanding well beyond the date of this congressional exchange. The hearing also highlighted broader concerns about government oversight. Senator Hawley argued that public officials must respond quickly when credible fraud allegations arise and questioned whether opportunities to intervene were missed. Ellison maintained that his office supported accountability efforts and rejected claims that he protected individuals involved in the fraud. Those sharply different perspectives reflect the larger political debate over responsibility, transparency, and how state officials should respond when major fraud allegations emerge. Ultimately, this hearing was about more than one meeting or one political confrontation. It raised broader questions about public accountability, oversight of taxpayer-funded programs, and the responsibility of government officials when confronted with allegations of large-scale fraud. The fact that federal prosecutors continued securing guilty pleas and convictions after this hearing demonstrates that the underlying investigation remained active and consequential. Whether viewers agree with Senator Hawley's criticisms or Attorney General Ellison's responses, the developments that followed show that this case continued evolving long after the hearing ended, ensuring that questions about oversight, transparency, and accountability remained at the center of the national conversation.